Unit 6, length. The length of the sounds, vowels in particular, in American English, there is a significant difference in the length across many, many words, but it's not phonemic, meaning it does not change the meanings in words. As we said in the last lesson, the main mechanisms for changing the meanings in words are manner of articulation, voicing, and place of articulation. But that does not mean length is insignificant. It is actually a parallel and supporting system for the phonemic processes just named. As you may have noticed in the last lesson, stress is very important in English. Doesn't change meanings except sometimes very subtly, so we don't include it in the three major categories. So too, length does not change the meaning and is just another supporting system for the three major ones. So notice that the long and short vowels that we talked about earlier are crucial for determining the meaning of the difference, the meaning difference between bit and byte. One important pattern, for example, is that vowels are longer before voice stops, but those same vowels are shorter before voiceless stops and affricates. So let me repeat that. So you see, as we're going along speaking, the brain knows what vowels and consonants are coming. And so when the brain sees that there's a voice stop coming, it's going to make that vowel a little longer. But if the vowel comes before a voiceless stop or an affricate, it's going to make that vowel shorter. And you might say, well, why bother? Well, that's part of this system of helping the recipient, the person listening, to tell whether that's a voiced or voiceless stop. And remember, that's important because, as I said, stops have no sound. They are actually a stopping of the air. So we need help to hear whether it's a voiced or voiceless stop. And one of the helps or supports is this lengthening of vowels or shortening of vowels, depending on what's following. In quick speech, this length difference can be crucially important for native speakers so that they can perceive whether the consonant is voiced or not. Now, let's talk about the languages of the world. A great many, a surprising number really, have a 5-vowel system. And it just happens to be A, E, I, O, U. And what's interesting, of course, about that is those were the 5 alphabet symbols for vowels that we got from Latin. Gee, why did they only have 5 vowel symbols? Because they only had 5 vowels. And indeed, some scholars have claimed that this is an ideal system because it allows for a lot of room in the mouth to create the vowels and to make them intelligible by being very distinct from each other. Be that as it may, as we have seen, English has 14 vowels, a lot more than 5. How can English succeed in communicating with such a large and complicated vowel system? And that's part of what we've been trying to emphasize in this course, is that the long and the short vowels are one of the secrets or methods for keeping the vowels of English apart. So now we have only 7 long vowels and 7 short vowels. And then you have a much easier way of keeping the vowels separate and of hearing and understanding the words. And notice that length is a very important part of this process. The length on the long vowels is really a crucial part of the system. And this concludes Unit 6.